Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, it's 11:04. Welcome to The Lock Shop here on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, please just send the link to EST to your buddies so they can hop in on the fun. And if you're watching over YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be great. Huss is on his way back from the Canadian Open, so he's got a travel day. He will be back tomorrow. We've got Glue Guy in today. Jay, what's going on, buddy?
Dusty, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Sharp looking haircut, young man.
Yeah, I took her down. You know what? But I kept the beard, so I kind of.
It works.
Yeah, I thought it worked okay.
It works.
Tammy sent me a picture of it. She goes, "Look, you look nice with the beard."
Well, that's
TV.
nice of your wife to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I think she's happy. I think she likes bearded Dusty a little bit more than bare-faced Dusty.
I wish I could do it. If I could do it, Dusty, I would do it all the time.
So you can't grow a beard at all?
No, I'd look like a pervert.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's no good.
It's awful. And my kids hate it.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get away with, giving the muzz
She doesn't mind it anymore. She doesn't mind it anymore.
So my girls last night asked me to shave.
Really?
In fact, they're like, Dad, you need
when
to
it's
shave.
only a little stubble, it's more prickly than what I got going on now.
Is yours soft?
It's pretty soft. I don't want you to touch it, but
I didn't want to touch it.
It's relatively soft.
I wanted
it's
to
not.
lick it.
You couldn't like sand use it as sandpaper, but it's not like a baby's butt. Mark A over in the chat already says Ryan Fox 80-1 to win. Woo! And I had
What a
Burns.
hit.
I had Burns as one of my outrights, but we did apparently. Shout out Matthew Awanek for hitting the golf parlay. Shane Lowry top 20, Nick Taylor top Canadian, and it ended up hitting. I think it was plus 950.
Huge.
Which is a big one. And I know some people had texted in this morning and say, hey, Dusty, hadn't been paid out yet. I messaged the boys. They got it all sorted out. So if you were riding on that golf parlay last week, it should be in your account over at Play Alberta. Of course, Play Alberta, the title sponsor of Edmonton Sports Talk and presenting sponsor of the Lock Shop as well.
I was riding. I sprinkled on it.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you
love
kind of have
those.
to. You kind of have to.
I mean, any of those ones that are over, 450 and up.
Yeah.
I'm putting sprinkling on. I have to. I mean, you'd be silly.
That's
not
like,
to.
I think we have to sprinkle a Corey Perry power play point tonight.
Oh.
Plus 303. So the two that we have already up.
I've got something that I'd like to
Are you
sprinkle
okay?
into.
Good. We'll get to that.
Yes.
Well, we got to do a Lock Shop partner parlay, so we'll build something there. And then you got Jay's play of the day coming up on the Reed Wilkins show. Early bird bet is already up. Oilers to win. McDavid 2 points. Bush a point. Dry a point. Plus 300. Had that same bet last game, and McDavid hit, Bouchard hit, Draisaitl hit, but the Oilers didn't win.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run it back. So early bird bets up, and then Dusty's play of the day is Corey Perry. I did this twice last week. It hit both times. Corey Perry over 0.5 points. So Corey Perry point plus 103. I think it should be more like a minus 120 number. He's hit it in 4 games in a row. He's got 5 points in the last 4 games. So plus 103 is a must, but a sprinkle on the power, because his point will probably come on the power play. So you can hit that at plus 303. What were you thinking?
Well, the first period of both of these games has been exciting.
Yeah.
And the question leading into it was, are you going to see a tight game, a tight checking game? And although, yes, you are, these teams are still going hard in the paint. Like they're playing very physical, yes, but points are still coming. Goals are coming in the first period. The first period has been the highest scoring period in this series thus far. Both teams have scored in both games. So first period, both teams to score is something we could look at if you wanted to, make a real fun, exciting, like that would, if you put that into a same game parlay, if you could, but even on its own, where was it?
We could definitely put it into a parlay. Here's both teams to score. I see a no there.
First, both teams to score is plus 150.
Where is that?
It's just in the period market. I don't know.
Oh, in the
if
period
you can
market.
put-
Okay. Oh, yes. Interesting.
But also, did you see what they did to the overtime line?
No.
So last week, it was plus 230.
What is it now?
Now it's plus 300. I don't
Really?
understand it.
So it's moving the other way.
Yeah.
Oh, overtime's always
Overtime's
a risky bet anyway,
A risky
but-
bet, but given the first 2 games,
That's weird that
isn't
it would
that
move
odd
the other
that
way.
it would move?
That is kind of strange. Maybe they're thinking they've got their overtimes out of the way already.
Now
And that's
it's
why-
at plus 280. This morning
So
it was
moved
plus
back. So
300.
some people hit it at 300. That's
Yeah.
why I would have That's why it would have moved. All right, so I'll just make some notes here as we go through stuff. And we're going to get to the weekend. We got the game. If you have a good play, hit us up over in the chat as well. Northside Sandwich says, I like Evander Kane over 2.5 shots. Also plus 122. Big Yuka saying he likes Kane to have a game here tonight.
I had Kane on my sheet as well.
Did you?
Something tonight. I think
plus 114 for a point.
And it depends what happens here with the lines. But if Nuge is out, would it be plausible that Evander Kane gets elevated to the first line?
Well, I suggested today, if Nuge is out, I think the common sense situation, and Nuge was on the ice today, but it's still a game time decision. Is that what we...
Well, he came out at the end of morning skate
okay.
and did some light puck handling. It's still to be determined whether
so we
he's
won't know
play.
until tonight.
As per Tommy, though, he's not all that positive on the likelihood of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins playing.
Well, we'll have
given
to see
that. So,
all right. If Nuge doesn't go, I could see a world where Evander Kane slides up, plays with McDavid, and then you take Podkolzin from the bottom six, put him with Draisaitl.
Yes.
And then
they've
Jeff
performed
Skinner
well.
plays in the bottom six.
Absolutely.
So at that point, I think you really have to like Evander Kane in that situation. And if Nuge can't go, is Kane the other body on the power play as well?
Well, that's the other question, right?
Which is something that you could look at too.
You could definitely look at the point right now for Evander Kane. And I'll tell you this, I'll just be honest here. If nothing of this conversation and the lock shot play of the day comes together,
you're taking something here.
I'm doing something Kaner for Jay's play of the day. So either way, you'll have something on the EST specials that involves Evander Kane. Okay,
so get your suggestions in for this play of the day, or for our parlay. Text it in 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We will
Corey Perry's at plus 303 for a power
play points plus 303. Yeah, that's what I said. You have to sprinkle a little bit, because if you hit his point at plus 103, but it's on the power play, you're gonna be like, damn it,
right? I
should have just got the 303.
Right.
So it really depends. That's a big box of something being delivered by a little guy.
Yeah, it's just a little.
Yeah, very strong though. That box almost as big as him. So I'll probably be on both when it's all said and done. But keep those suggestions coming in. We'll come back around to the Oilers here and lock something in. I have to know, because I was gone last week, how did you lose to Zach and Tecmo? I'm sorry. I don't want to reopen that wound, but I'm stunned.
Dude.
I am stunned.
You want to know how?
He was the Raiders.
You want to know how? Neil
O'Donnell. He's no good.
He is the worst quarterback in that league. I don't even know how he's allowed on this.
Yeah.
So I hope I never have to
didn't
play
take the Steelers
with the Pittsburgh Steelers ever again. I wish I knew that. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And I tried. I should have. Now I know. Okay. So Bananas Foster's going to
They're your number 2 team, right?
Yeah. I'd way rather play with Washington all day.
Yeah.
Than that debacle of Neil O'Donnell. My God.
I can't believe it.
Coop played well, Dusty. Honestly, he played well. He and I think I didn't outright accuse him of cheating.
Yeah.
But I had to tell him to turn around and look the other way. He called 7 of my plays in the first half. I'm sorry.
Coop, were you cheating at Tecmo?
I didn't accuse him of cheating. I just said, turn around, you. That's it. And then after that. And after that, no plays called.
He wasn't looking away in the first place, though?
I thought he was.
He says he was. We
can go back.
By the way, where's Hernan today?
I don't know. Hernan? Where are you?
Yeah, is Hernan not in today? What's going on here? It's after 11. Where is this guy? I just thought about it. We're talking about Tecmo. I was like, how come Nanso's not here?
So it happened.
Okay.
I took it like a man. I congratulated Coop.
Yeah.
He deserved to get that win.
It's his first win.
It's his first win.
Stunning loss, though.
Stunning loss for sure. But Neil O'Donnell should be playing. He shouldn't even be. He should be playing.
He's not a good quarterback.
I
usually run the ball heavily when I have Pittsburgh.
Well, now I know. Now I know. Bananas Foster's going to be the guy.
That is tough.
Next time Pittsburgh's called.
That is tough. All right, 780-218-9999 over on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up. We'll come back around and lock in a parlay on this Oilers game tonight, and obviously talk more about the game. So keep your suggestions coming in over there, and we'll put together a little lock shot partner parlay, which is good. Lots to get to from the weekend. We have to start with the Canadian Football League. And let's just start with the Elks and kind of get that out of the way, and then maybe we can look at some of the other games. Eric made an interesting point today in that it was only a 3-point game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not as bad as it ended up looking, but part of me thinks it might even be worse than it ended up looking. So I don't know. I get no read on this team coming off of the first game because I really hope their offense does not look like that this season because there'll be a long season if that's how their offense is going to look.
Well, yes. And Mark Killam, Coach Killam, did say in the post game that fatigue was something he was concerned with this team because you look at the second half, BC scored 28 points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
So in that situation, he's saying his team's out of shape?
I think he fatigued because his defense was on the field pretty much the entire second half. I mean, you look at the second down conversion rate for Edmonton, it was 8 of 19.
Yeah.
Whereas BC's was 14 for 20. I mean, that's 42% to 70%. That's
a huge swing.
Combine that with the fact that Edmonton only rushed the ball 10 times to their starting running backs, Javon Leake and Justin Rankin.
Yeah.
10 rushes for 29 yards. Sorry, that's not good enough. You need to commit to running the ball. If you run the ball, even if you're not having success, just keep hammering away at it.
It was a close game for
3 yards, 4 yards. Maybe you break one for 12 yards, 15 yards. Commit to it. That'll open up the play action. Did you see one play action pass from Edmonton?
I watched all of the second half and part of the first half.
I did not see one play action. BC's play action game was much better because they were able to run the ball
all the time like that. Yeah.
It's not rocket science, and it's just annoying to see that this is the same way this team started out last year, is not committing to the run game. Jarius Jackson comes in after all the changes that were made, commits to running the ball. I mean, 20 plus carries for several games in a row.
Yeah, they were running.
And look what happened.
Crushing it on the ground. Yeah.
Now, okay, was missing Brett Boyko, their right tackle, a bigger story than maybe we thought? Possibly, because the right side of that O-line looked beatable. Let's just say that. But Trey Ford was 18 of 27.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, but if Zach Mathis is leading this team in targets, that's an issue. And that's maybe an issue with choices by Trey Ford. Maybe he was under pressure and just had to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, there's no way a coach schemes up, hey, let's throw it to Zach 8 times. Yeah. To our top 2 receivers combined 3 or 4 times. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah, Curly Gittins Jr. was targeted twice.
Yeah.
Dunbar was targeted 4 times. It's just not... So that, to me, Dusty, is part of a little bit of a positive or a silver lining out of all this, is I just think that whole offense was discombobulated. They were not on the same page. And I do understand and appreciate that losing, especially as a game time decision, your starting right tackle can affect your ability to commit to the run game. At least you're now going to question it a bit more because you're missing a big cog in that wheel of the run game. So, to be determined, but there's also, is BC just that good?
BC, I know BC looked better than I thought they were going to be. Rourke looked like he was dialing it back a couple years. I thought he was.
Rourke looked like 2022 Nathan Rourke.
Part of me in that second half was just like kind of like tip your hat to Nathan Rourke. He's just that damn good.
And he ran the ball quite successfully too.
But it was a really close game when Trey Ford threw an awful interception.
Yeah,
like that was a really, really bad. I if it wasn't picked, it was falling 10 feet short of the only receiver in the area.
Yeah.
So that was not good. Trey is a ridiculous athlete, and as I was telling you off the air earlier, Trey Ford does a lot of things that nobody else can do, but until he can do the things that everybody else can do, you're going to have to get very creative with the offense, I think.
That's a great point. That summarizes, I think, what most Double E fans would think right now is, okay, we get it. We get the electric side.
Yeah, he's unreal athletically.
But you know what we'd like to see as well is you hitting a 13-yard out and leading the receiver to the sideline, a nice completion inside the pocket.
You need to have those to be a successful quarterback in the league.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you all the other stuff would be gravy on top and could take them to another level, but you have to have the fundamentals of passing from the pocket down.
Now, chicken or egg kind of conversation here, because was there a pocket to throw from that game? Which points again at that old line, which I was shocked.
But
Dusty.
they brought in an all-star.
They've got it. They've got the right pieces.
Yeah,
it's just for whatever reason it didn't come together that night. So leading into the next, they're on a bye, which probably not the worst timing
I think it's
for them
okay.
to have a
It's
bye.
okay, actually. Yeah.
But then they host Montreal, and that's going to be a test because, as you said, I mean, you were there
I
firsthand.
watched Montreal against Toronto, and Toronto lost their entire defensive line, which is not good. Most of them are here now. And they didn't have Chad Kelly. And Arbuckle's Grey Cup was sensational, but, Arbuckle is a career sort of journeyman backup. There's Hernan Salas.
Haircut.
Montreal's really good.
Yeah.
Like, you may have a bye here if you're Edmonton, but you're going to have to come back and play 3 times as good as you played against BC. Montreal's that good.
Which I think
Davis Alexander
yeah.
was awesome.
And that's a great point that you said. Is this was a 3-point game?
Yeah, it was close in the fourth.
So maybe it wasn't as bad, or maybe the expectations were slightly too high from people that are here. But it's a fan base and a following that's been let down continually, especially in season openers by this team for the last 4 years. What was it? 0-3, 0-9, and then 0-7. They're a little gun shy of losing an opening game. So I can see how the thought process to let this tumble and say, oh, they suck. They're awful. Not just yet.
But if they won 10 games last year, you'd view the first game this year a lot different. You'd be like, you know what? Like,
yeah.
But considering the starts that they've had, I view this first game, I'm like, we've seen this before.
But for a team to play that poorly, Dusty, and still be in a 3-point game entering the fourth quarter, that does say a lot. But I mean, you look at what, and we were talking about this earlier. I mean, the backbreaker for this was a 10-play, 102-yard drive that ended up in a touchdown with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Yeah, that started. That was the killer.
Yeah, like you're sitting there going, "Oh wow, they've got him in great. Like this is really tough field position. You get this ball back, you get it back at the 50.
Yep.
And then it was Nathan Rourke running, Nathan Rourke with a pass, Nathan Rourke run. They didn't really run the ball much on it. It was just Nathan doing Nathan things or hitting guys.
Yeah,
he was hitting guys 8 yards down the field and leading them to first downs.
It was fantastic to watch.
He was. That's why part of me is just like, whatever. Nathan Rourke's going to do that to a bunch of teams. Big Dave texts in and says, "Hey, Jay, did Edmonton look like 2 different teams from the first half to the second half?" Not offensively.
Not offensively. Defensively, I think they were getting fatigued. Absolutely, because they could not get off the field. But part of that fatigue and getting off the field is having an offense that can keep the ball for you and sustain a 5, 6, 7 play drive to let you get a breather as a defense. It really does start to compound. And we said this, and I know Cass uses this a lot on 2 guys and a goalie, but compounding, mistakes or compounding issues that lead to just your defense being deflated and your offense just can't get anything going. Because you can't then at that point of the game turn back to your run game and say, oh, we're going to give it a try.
Yeah.
You have to push the ball downfield because BC's just teeing off on you. So it was just compounding errors. I honestly think that this team can look at this and learn a lot. And I don't just mean the players. I mean, Jordan Maximic needs to look this game in the eye and say,
full coaching staff all together for the first time.
But I mean, if you want to look at the positives, 5 kickoff returns for 148 yards. Arkel Smith
he was good. I thought the D-line was good.
The D-line was able to get pressure even when they weren't in a blitz situation. 5 punts. I mean, the special teams could have been the real
Cody Grace is a great kicker.
Yeah,
he's
could have been the shining star of this game, except for Vincent Blanchard.
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, that's why we were sitting there chatting with Reed earlier tonight. Like they don't need a Canadian kicker. They started 11 Canadians, didn't they? They've got Canadians all over the field. So if Blanchard blows it again in week 3, go find an American kicker. There's a million American kickers.
In the post,
I was listening driving back. I was like,
I'm like, get somebody in here. Get rid of it. Put pressure on him. At least have somebody in that can compete with him, so he knows his feet are to the fire.
They did. They had somebody in, didn't they? They had another guy
they're
in.
Gone. It's just him.
See, so to me, you got a bye week here.
Figure it out.
This is a nice little window.
And put somebody that's going to put the pressure on him. Like you said, find an American. You have the space in the ratio to do that, and make it a 1 week kicking competition leading up to that home opener against Montreal.
Week 2 lines for the Canadian Football League are not out just yet. Probably later today, if not by tomorrow morning, for sure. I was just taking a quick look here. Montreal Alouettes are them and the Argos are co-Grey Cup favorites, but I would rather bet on the Argos or the Alouettes at 350 than Toronto at 350. I'll say that. And then they got the Bombers at 4 and the Riders at 4, Lions at 5, and Edmonton's dropped back way below Calgary again to 25-1. So
maybe I'll throw it. Maybe
what'd you get him at? Didn't you already get him at something?
Oh yeah, I think it's 20. I think I got him at 2,300.
Okay.
Twice.
Oh, there's that.
Because I accidentally bet it twice. Did you watch any of the RBC Canadian Open yesterday?
I know I didn't. We went to a card show and then had a.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Any good finds?
I'm usually only looking for NFL or LeBron cards.
Right.
And there were not many LeBron cards there. They must have already been sold.
Oh, hot. And they're in demand.
I found one. I got that. And then Marsh was just looking for Ovies and McDavids. And I got some. Actually, I bought 4 Jaden Daniels rookies yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Raw, like not graded.
Right.
But they looked pretty good.
Now,
the guy gave me a deal.
Would you go and get those graded?
I've never actually sent cards in for grading, but I've got a stack at home of about 60 that I want to get graded.
Right.
But I've never gone through the process. I'm sure once I do it once, I'll probably do it all the time. Because I got some really, really good cards that.
Why don't you send them all in at one time?
Yeah, I could do that, but it's pricey. It's pricey.
What's it cost to get a card graded?
I don't know. I think it's.
Isn't the shipping way more than?
No. I think it's all. It's not. Somebody will probably know who's listening, but it's not cheap.
Like $30 a card,
at least I think.
So if you have.
If I'm sending in 30 cards, that's $1,000. I can't do that.
No, who can afford that?
Right. So I got a good Draisaitl young gun that looks really, really nice that I want to get graded. But
Jaden Daniels, eh?
Yeah. So I bought 4 Jaden Daniels. Well, I bought 3, and then the guy threw one in.
Really?
I bought 3 of the optic ones, and then he threw in a base one. And I was like, okay, that's nice. So anyway, we did. So no, I didn't watch any of the Canadian Open, but I know it was phenomenal.
Well, it was, and we were talking about this earlier just before we came on, but to have them replay the 18th hole, what was 4 times, was hilarious. Just because it's just funny to see things that don't often happen live in front of you. So like by the second playoff, there was nobody at the tee box, 0 people, and they had the hockey boards around. Like it just looked eerie.
Yeah.
But my question was, okay, so the 4th playoff hole, Ryan Fox gets up there. What is he? 255 away, bombs a 3-wood. 10 feet from the pin. Why weren't they doing that on the first 3 playoff holes?
Yeah.
I mean, that hole is set up to put you in a decision-making, I guess, issue. Do you go for it? Do you like the second the person I was playing against laid up? I'm going for that.
It's like, that's it. Let's go do it.
What are we doing here? Are we here to win?
Go win it or not.
To have layup, and then, oh, wait, now it's a 4th playoff hole.
Yeah.
I'm going to bomb a 3-wood and put it 10 feet from the hole, forcing Sam Burns to do the same thing, who also hit the green.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is crazy, isn't it?
It was interesting. Okay, so Aiden O'Neill says they move the pin position. So maybe that was it.
I don't think they moved the pin. Can they? Do they? Is that a
Big
thing?
U says they cut a new hole.
Oh wow!
I didn't know they did that.
I didn't realize they would do that between playoff holes.
That's ballsy.
So then they decided, okay, well then we can take a run at it better.
Yeah, but even Sam Burns hit like. They were clearly capable of getting it to the green, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It just
so why would you not do that?
Why would you not do that? You're in a playoff hole. I mean, you're both going to win copious amounts of dollars here. So just go for it. That would be my thought process anyway.
You're letting the big dog eat.
Yeah, why not?
That's what's happening there. So Huss is back tomorrow, and then Wednesday we'll do our U.S. Open picks. At the U.S. Open, there is a par 3 that's like 290 yards.
That's absurd.
A par 3. That's 290 yards.
I think par 3s that are 200 yards are a dick move.
Yeah, me too. There's the ranch doesn't have a 200-yard par 3. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, the
5,
one
6.
that was a hole in one hole, wasn't it? That was 160.
The one that comes back towards. So there's 1, 2. Then there's a par 3 on 3. 4 is the dog leg. 5.
Oh yes,
is
they
the
do.
gully.
6.
6 is like a 190 yard.
Yeah,
that's a pretty deep one.
That's too far.
Yeah, there's one at the quarry on Slate or Ironstone. That's like a 215-yard par 3.
And you said this one at the U.S. Open is 290?
290 or something like that, I saw.
Like, what do you got to drive? Like,
we would, but we wouldn't even come close to it. Those guys might be able to take like a 3-wood on that. 290 yards.
hi-yo.
Yeah, it's bloody insane.
I'm not down with that.
But yeah, huge U.S. Open picks coming up on Wednesday. We might track down Jeff Ulrich, who we had on.
He was a great guest.
He was a good guest. Yeah, his mic was a little quiet.
Yes.
But anyway, we might track him down, or maybe we'll get somebody else. But Huss and I will probably get a golf guest on Wednesday. Did you watch any of the French Open?
I cannot.
I don't think they call it French Open anymore. They just call it Roland Garros.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why it's not branded as French Open.
I saw the celebrations.
I didn't see it.
Coco
I just saw
Gauff
I saw the ridiculous highlights.
Yeah.
Of Alcaraz and what he was able to do.
If I am going to I didn't watch all of the round of golf yesterday. I have things to do. I have a life. My daughter was in a basketball tournament. I caught home and did that. I'm sorry if I'm. When you can only fit in so much sports.
Yes, I know.
And I'm sorry, tennis and baseball fall to the bottom of that list.
That's why. What's the other one? Oh, the one that I would like to have more time to watch, but I never do is college football.
Oh,
South of the States. I'd like to get into college football, but I have no time. It's just there's just so many. There's only so much time you have.
I thought you were going to say professional tag.
No. How long does one of those matches last?
Fast.
It can't last very long. Like you probably do a whole tournament in an hour.
I think you have a timer, and if you don't tag the person in like 20 seconds, then they get a point for their team.
It looks dangerous. There must be a lot of injuries in tag.
We would need to have coverage.
Yeah.
Because to make it through one round, I mean, just
those guys are nuts.
The obstacles alone, a guy could probably concuss himself, but just the lateral movement and the knees and the ankles, it wouldn't be fun. I did go for a 40-minute run yesterday.
Oh yeah, because aren't you running something?
I foolishly signed up to.
How
join
far
Hernan.
did you go in 40 minutes?
Well, I still have to figure out exactly.
Yeah, what the route is.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
So, my loop of my neighborhood, I figured it out. It's probably like 3.5K.
Okay.
Say. So I did. I was gonna do. So the person that's helping me set up a schedule for running times, he said, "Okay, we'll get to a half hour where it's like not hard at all.
Yeah,
where you're consistent." So I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna do a half hour." So I'm doing it. I'm feeling good. So a half hour would be like one full loop and then half.
Okay.
And then turn around and come back. And that would be about 30 minutes. So I make it through the first loop and I'm feeling great. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm actually feeling better than I did at the start. So then I get halfway around the curve and there's a listener.
Oh, no way.
Neighbor Danny.
Yeah.
He's my neighbor.
Okay.
He's out picking flowers or like weeding or something like that.
Did you stop and talk to him?
No, I'm like, hey, like I'm running. I don't want to talk. And he's like, yeah, I heard you, but you're doing a half marathon. You're like, he's like, what? Something like, you're an idiot. Yeah. Why would you do that? And I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, shoot. No, sorry. I'm like, now I can't turn around and like look like I'm giving up because that was my halfway point.
You had to push.
It's right in front of neighbor Danny's house. So
so you...
Yeah. So I just kept going. I kept going and then 2 loops. So instead of being a 30-minute run, it turned into a 40-minute run because I didn't want to look like I'm giving up.
Are you doing the walk a minute, then run 3 minutes?
No, this
everything?
was straight.
Oh, geez, buddy.
I surprised myself. Except my legs were dead yesterday. They feel all right today. But.
Yeah. I was during the pandemic, I was running a bit. And I was up to I'd run for about 8 minutes straight. Then walk for a minute. Then hit 8 more minutes.
10-1, 10-1. You can build up.
The 10 and 1s you can get to. I was at about 8.
But I was dying by the end of that 40 minutes. So
yeah, that's good for you, buddy.
Well, I'm gonna do it.
It's pretty bad that you.
Well, that would be like imagine if you said you're doing really this and then you don't show up, and then neighbor Danny thinks I'm giving up halfway through the run. So
that is too funny.
Yeah.
Collingwood Rob texts in and says number 7 at Stony Plain is a 223-yarder par 3 uphill,
rude,
and usually into the wind. God, that's
for casual golfers, like 175's the max.
Yeah, you're not going out to Stony Plain, which is a nice course. I played there a while ago now, but you're not going out there to get challenged that much. Like that's a tough one. We were on a golf trip last week.
Yeah,
with there's only 12 of us this year, but the one day we played a course called Copper Point, which we played a lot.
Love Copper
And then the
Point.
next day we played Copper Ridge, which is smaller.
Yeah.
It's 8 par 4s and 10 par 3s. And you know what? Like that was the middle round of the week. That was nice.
Yeah.
Like you just sort of,
Yeah.
you know, you're not out there trying to hammer through par 5s on
Right.
day 3 of 5.
Yeah.
It was just sort of a nice reset. We all shot really well.
Lots of 8
so our
irons, lots
scores
of
were
7
lower.
irons.
Yeah, well, no, how about this? I didn't have my 7. So on the second round of the trip, we were at Copper Point. I lost my 56-degree wedge. I don't know where it went. And then my 7 iron broke on the shaft.
My gosh.
On the shaft. Like not even the club head came off. About this far up the shaft.
Jeez.
On a shot on a fairway in which I didn't even take a divot.
Really?
It was unbelievable. I was just like, what?
Oh,
so for the rest of the trip, I had no 56-degree
Oh,
and I had
no.
no 7 iron. And the very next day, we went and played the Ridge course, which has 10 par 3s, and like 6 of them, I would have had my 7 iron. on. So it was
my 7 iron's my go-to club. I would be lost without a 7 iron.
I used to be my 7 iron. Now it's my 8 iron, but still, that was a real piss off knowing we were going to play 10 par 3s the next day. So yeah, that one was
Oh, Dusty.
that
I
wasn't
feel for
ideal.
you.
So now I'm in the market, I guess, for a 7 iron and
I think Coop's got a
56.
couple clubs.
Yeah,
kicking,
that's
huh?
what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
definitely going to do that. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. A couple of quick messages over in the chat on YouTube. If you're watching over YouTube, hammer a thumbs up for us or come back around here and figure out exactly what the parlay will be on this Oilers game tonight from the lock shop. Mike, the Michigan fan, that says, is there a bet for the over-under on pace of play? I would bet on the over 5.5 hours round. They are just missing windmills and clowns around the greens right now at the U.S. Open. Old Gil over in the chat says, I love U.S. Open golf. They keep saying roll back the ball. The clubs go too far. Row the rough for the pros and let them risk going deep off the tee and don't punish us casuals. That's good. Maverick says, did you guess what the CFL lines will be? We did not do that, but we can do that. That's a good idea. Let's do that before we circle back around to the Oilers game. I haven't looked. I mean, I'm sure some books have some lines out. A few of the places I've looked do not have them just yet. But what do we have for games?
So we got BC going to Winnipeg.
Okay. So what do you think that line will be?
Well, BC's got to be favored.
No, I don't. I bet you they aren't.
It'd be close. Would you think Winnipeg's going to be favored?
I think Winnipeg will be favored, but inside a field goal. So like 2.5-ish.
Well, I would.
At which
hammer
point
the
I would
Lions.
be on the Lions.
Yeah. Alouettes at Red Blacks. Alouettes got to be what? 6.5, 5.5.
I liked Ottawa's game against the Riders. But we have to see the status of Drew Brown because he had his hip banged up in that one.
He concerned me in that game.
Drew Brown?
Yeah. It's
But
late in the game. You cannot take that.
His decision making was awful.
That's
Like,
like
two of them.
junior
There was
football
two
stuff.
awful plays.
Yeah.
I bet you Montreal on the road probably be around 3.5. Just because they're on the road.
What do you think of Calgary at Toronto?
If Chad Kelly's playing, Toronto will be probably a field goal favorite.
Calgary looked good.
If Chad Kelly's not playing, I could still see Toronto.
If Toronto's
being like,
favored at all in that,
yeah.
and Chad Kelly's not playing,
I think if
hammer
Chad
on
Kelly's not
Calgary.
playing, they might have it at a pick 'em, and then I'd probably take Calgary. And then what's the other one?
Saskatchewan
I'm doing
at
that one.
Hamilton.
Um,
Oh yeah, I'm doing that one. He says.
yeah, I have 2 games this week, so.
So where are you going from? Your
I'm going to
Winnipeg, then
and then to Hamilton, and then home. That's an interesting one because the Riders
I
should
would
be
take-
favored,
the
but
Riders
it's
should be
on the
favored.
road.
But
Probably
does the road
Riders
mean as much?
3 points in football. They usually say
Is that right?
like home side gets the 3-point sort of swing. So I would think the Riders are probably inside a field goal favorite, maybe.
Yeah, they should be favored.
Yeah,
They should be favored.
yeah.
I like BC going to Winnipeg. By the way, I like Montreal going to Ottawa. You know what? You know what, Dusty?
Strevler's playing too.
You know what, Dusty?
BC might end up being a
This
small
would be
favorite, I
a
think.
great week to do an away team parlay. Just pick a money line. 4 teams away.
The Riders.
Okay, so Riders, Stamps, Alouettes, Lions.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That would be it. That would be nice.
That'd be a huge number too,
Yeah,
because none of them will be like.
I might dip into that.
Write that down.
I'm gonna write
once
that
we see
down.
what the lines are. That'll be good.
CFL.
But yeah, it'll be Strevler starting we'll get for Winnipeg. Those lines will be ready by tomorrow. So when Huss is back, we can definitely dive into it too. But yeah, I don't hate the idea of all four. I mean, let's see what the numbers end up being. But that's not a bad
But even
idea.
if you took a money line, it would still be a big number.
Here we go. Sean, this is great. So Sean's listening to the Lock Shop, went on to EdmontonSportsTalk.com down to the submission form at the bottom. We get people submitting stuff down there about everything. I had somebody message. I'm sitting there. I get an email, or because I get these all comes directly to the email, and somebody was in there bitching about Jack on the radio call on Ched.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was like 2 paragraphs. I was like, this is not even ours. That's not even us. Why are you sending this to us? Anyway, the Sean guy messages in and says, hi, from what I've heard, that the cost to grade a card is based on a set percentage of the graded value of that card. So a card graded at $1,200 times 25% is $300. What? I sure hope that's not the case. They can't be taking you for 25% of the value of the card to get it graded. My God.
Well, that's foolish.
Nah, I thought it was like
thought it was
$30 a card. I know Cash is over on the chat watching right now. Cash said next time I see you, I'll give you an update. Or
who was that sent that in?
Sean.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems a little too. I mean, I could see it going up maybe on the more valuable cards, but it can't be. That seems pricey. Anyway, Cash, if you want to chime in, text us 780-218-9999. I wouldn't mind getting to the bottom of this.
Did you see somebody message into the post game show? Giving Maddie heck because he put in
I know
the title
the spoiler.
of the show,
I did see that.
Or Elks fall the Lions, and he's like, oh, "Great! I went on YouTube to look at highlights, and I put in Elks, and this is what I see. You ruined my day." Like, buddy,
that does suck. I think.
I think blaming Maddie for that is the least of your worries.
Andrew over in the chat says $30. And then the valuable ones are 3% of the value. See, that makes more sense than the 25%. That's 3% of the value. I get that. I understand.
I guess because once they put their stamp
you're driving
on it,
the value up so much. And somebody said, what is graded? So graded is you'll send your cards into an official card grader. They go through their process. They look at the corners. They look at the edges. They look at the surface. They look at the centering. And then they give your card a grade, max 10. So if it comes back as a 10, then it's extremely, extremely valuable. Lots of them come back as 9s. I've got a few PSA 10s, and then I've got a bunch of PSA 9s. I've got a McDavid Young Gun that's Beckett graded. It's a 9.5 with actually 3 9.5s and a 10. It's pretty sick card.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating industry. There's no doubt about that. But man, cards are pricey. Like there were cards just sitting there of like guys.
What's the most expensive card you saw at the show on the weekend? Can I guess?
Yeah, you can try to take a guess. I'm sure I probably missed even the most expensive ones, but I went to every booth.
Like, are there cards there over $25,000? That would where I would say
there might have been. I don't know if I saw.
Like I wouldn't even want to travel with a card that was $25,000.
No, there might have been some that were over $25,000.
Really?
No.
What would that be? Like, what was the most
looking
expensive
at like
one
a
you
low
saw?
end? The most expensive one I saw. And I don't even know what the expensive. I mean, I saw a ton of Gretzky rookies, but there had to have been more. Like there was I saw some McDavid cards for like $6,500.
Really?
There had to have been more than that though. Statue Boss Production says, I'm looking at the PSA website right now. Price depends on the value of the card. $5,000 max insured value goes for $300 per card.
Huh. So that's if you know you're sitting on something. That's if you're
sitting on something massive.
Good. Yeah. You just want to get it graded.
If you're going to get it insured for $5,000 to send it to the place, then yeah. Interesting world.
Hockey cards.
Yeah. I love it.
Did Reed buy his?
I don't think Reed's got his box yet.
The James Bond.
Reed, you didn't get your box yet, did you? Not yet, but we're going to do it, right? Yeah. Reed wants to get a box of James Bond cards from Wayne's, and then we'll record him opening it, which would be a lot of fun.
Oh, and it's just good.
The problem is that if you don't hit anything, because that's an expensive box.
I know. And
if you don't hit anything, you're like inside. I bumped into a guy yesterday who listens to the show. I saw him there last year. He goes, nice to see you again this year. Like he just said, and he said that he he sold. You should have seen all the Pokemon cards at the show this year.
Yeah,
tables and tables and tables of Pokemon cards. Anyway, he said he sold a Pokemon card. He didn't tell me how much, but then he said he bought a bunch of game used boxes, hockey product. And then he's like, and then I opened up all the game used and I didn't hit anything. Ugh. And I was like, oh my God. But then he said he went to some table for a mystery pack and ended up hitting another Charizard that was worth a bunch. He's like, we're even in the end. I was like, you guys, you should see the stacks of cash at these bloody shows, man. It's insane. I bet. I give Marshall a few bucks and I have a budget and it's nothing like there are very few cards that I can actually afford on the cash that I take to these shows. But Marshall, I gave Marshall $60. Ooh, that's good, right? That's good. But that doesn't go very far in the show. So he had to be extremely careful with his $60.
Good for him to decipher what's important to him.
Yeah, it was good. Like he worked around. Now he'd spend his $60 and we're walking past this 3D printed Alexander Ovechkin greatest goal scorer of all time thing. And he's like, oh, he goes, I saw this earlier and I wanted to save $5 for it.
Oh, it's $5?
Yeah. And I looked at him. I said, I'll get it for you. Like, thank you, Daddy.
Dusty, like, oh, yeah. You broke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I ended up giving him another 50 because we're getting some cards for his sister too. So anyway. All right, let's lock in the parlay here for this Oilers game tonight. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. And then over on the nasty chat, what is your favorite play? Jay, you laid out, okay, what do we laid out the Kane thing?
Evander Kane, whether it's, I would even go Evander Kane shots. If you wanted to.
Is that a 1.5 or 2.5? It's probably a 2.5, eh? Let's see here. You go to the player markets over at Play Alberta, and then you just scroll down. You'll see a bunch of the shots on goal. And you don't use a mouse, eh? You use the computer mouse.
Yeah.
All the time?
All the time.
Wow.
I never had a laptop in my life till I started working here.
Come on.
I never had one.
Are you serious?
No. I've never had a laptop.
Aren't you like 40?
42.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm 43.
Yeah.
Never.
God.
So when I started one, I'm like, oh, cool. You can control the mouse by this.
Jeez. All right. What were we looking at? Evander Kane?
Shots on goal for Evander Kane.
Here he is. 2.5.
Over 2.5.
Plus 122.
I mean, they're putting shots on net. I mean, Bobrovsky's had 42 saves in both games 1 and 2. I mean,
they are getting shots. I'm just looking at his game log here.
Now, maybe that's not the right play for Evander Kane.
His last 3 games were 1 shot. He scored on it. Mm-hmm. And then 2 shots, 1 shot, or 3 shots. He's gone over the 2.5 just twice in his last 5. I think isn't the point?
A point is plus 114.
Yeah, it's almost the same.
Let's do point.
Okay, so Evander Kane point.
Point plus 114.
Put in an Evander Kane point. Okay. And then
now, what about your Corey Perry power play?
Well, I mean that's a standalone. You can just play that on its own.
Yeah, I guess it's what 3.
It's plus 203.
Yeah.
We just also advise you to take a Corey Perry power play point.
Now, I wanted to look at both teams to score in the first period is plus 150. Now, but if you're going by how this series has went, they've been coming out hot, both games.
First period, team to score. Both teams to score.
First period, both teams to score.
And they've got a ton of period.
Yeah, which is a little further down. Is plus 150.
Okay. So Evander Kane, I mean that alone is going to be
that's a nice number.
Already.
Now, do we want to dive into Jake Wallman?
Plus.
Last time we were here, we did. I mean, if you're going to get frisky, you might as well get really frisky.
Yeah, I mean that's usually something that works out very well when you're building parlays. Remember, use your game sense. Plus minus.
I think we're good there, Just. I think we're good with Evander Kane point and both teams to score
in the first period. Let me send this over to the boys. Boosted.
Like that should be
lock shot partner parlay. What do we say? Both teams score to score period. In the first period.
And then Evander Kane
over 0.5 points. 0.5 points. All right, sent off. So what are you thinking it'll probably be in the range of?
Probably
that's 2+ numbers,
250,
probably somewhere around
there.
And when that ends up loading, you'll find it on the EST specials page. We have the early bird bet over there as well. McDavid 2 points, Bouchard point, Draisaitl point, Oilers money line 3-1, then Corey Perry point plus 103. If you've not yet used our new codes, deposit $20, use the code EST Sports, you get a $50 free bet. Use the code YAG50, deposit $5 and get a $50 free bet. And then use the code EST Casino and deposit $20 and get a $50 casino bet. I was playing 10-cent roulette last night.
Were you?
I did.
Reed and I have been
the 10-cent
dipping into the roulette. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to break roulette.
I know you guys are. And that's what I did last night too. I sprayed the board.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't bad. I played for like 20 minutes. I was down $2 when I decided that was
You
enough.
should have been here Friday. It got pretty electric in the office.
Did it?
Yeah, we were trying something.
Did it work?
It was working, then it didn't work, and then it worked big time.
Oh, really?
So we felt good about it, but it didn't work that well for Reed over the weekend.
No.
Poor guy.
So if you click on casino and then click on table games, you'll see there's like 10-cent roulette. Then there's double bonus spin roulette. And then there's Oilers roulette, Flames roulette. There's a regular roulette. There's a bunch of stuff over there. And I was, so I did the 10-cent a little bit last night for a bit. 10 cents. I mean, it was pretty fun. I was here. Let me just,
You're getting live?
I can't put it on the screen, but let me just pop it into 10-cent roulette here.
You can't because you don't have the capabilities?
No, we could, but just not today. No. Play Alberta would be fine with it.
Oh, wow.
Reed
might ask you to do a show on the weekends.
You mind if I do a 5-hour roulette show on
Roulette
Sundays?
with Reed.
They would probably love it.
Airing from
they
1
would
to
probably
3
love it.
or 1 to 10 after 1. It depends.
All right, let's see here. All right, so I don't know what I just bet. I just bet 70 cents. Let's see what ends up happening here. The ball is rolling. The ball is rolling. It's rolling and it stopped on 30. Oh, there we go. There we go. My 70 cents is now $1.80.
Well,
and watch this. You just click rebet and spin again. This is what sucked me in the other night. And now it's rolling again. I just covered the same part of the board. And I hit 18. And 18 gave me back 30 cents. So a bit of a loss. But anyway, it's fun. It's kind of fun. Just be careful.
Roulette. Yes.
Use your game sense. But yeah, 10-cent roulette. It's 10 cents.
Your early bird bet, you had the Oilers to win.
Yeah.
So we didn't really talk about it all that much, but you're feeling that they can come in and steal this game because I
think they'll win one of the next two. So I'll be on them. I'll be on them to win next game as well, with probably a similar parlay because it's 3-1. We're gonna hit one of these 3-1ers either tonight or the next night, I would think.
Because their money line is plus 120 right now.
Yeah,
I mean they are not. The bookmakers think the Oilers are going to lose tonight. So what made you think they can pull this out?
I don't. It's not necessarily tonight, but I think they're coming home with a split.
I have a theory that I don't feel like a lot of people outside of this market have been watching this team change and evolve into the playoff mode. The depth, and that's why I still think you see numbers like this. I mean, that could be Jay's play of the day right there. It's Oilers win.
Straight
plus
up money
120.
Line, plus 120, yeah.
That's great money.
They've, since those first two games against LA, and even after the second game against LA, they have bounced back extremely well.
Yes.
Following losses in these playoffs. Stuart Skinner's usually great after a loss. The team in general is probably great after a loss.
Maybe a Oilers money line.
Just straight up.
And then maybe sprinkle in Leon over 1.5 points.
Oh.
He's on a tear.
He's been outstanding.
He's on a tear.
Yeah, no, he's been really good as well.
I'm going to go cook in the
you come back around for Jay's play of the day. You got to get to that coming up a little bit. What do you think's going to happen?
Dusty, every time I see doubt cast towards this team, I don't laugh, but I do take it with a grain of salt because this team is continually showing you that they can overcome in what would be perceived from outside of this market as a tough situation. They continually have done it. And now you're saying, oh, well, Bennett, wow, he's a game changer. Marchand. Yeah. Well, you know what? The Oilers have the two best players in the world on their team. And
nothing against Sam Bennett the way he's playing right now.
No.
But he's not McDavid. He's
somebody does need to address Sam Bennett on the Oilers. And whether that's Stu Skinner taking a penalty and trying to snap his leg in two in front of the net. I mean, what he's doing, I get it. It's gamesmanship, but somebody's got to address that because it's getting a little out of hand. And I don't know. Can you expect Marchand to have two breakaways in a game that he's going to score on both again, right?
I'd be pretty stunned if that happens.
Fourth oldest overtime goal scorer in Stanley Cup Finals history at 37 was Brad Marchand. What are you looking at?
Just texts. Sorry, just texts.
I thought you had something coming.
No.
Across the wire. Yeah, so that's I like that. I like that there's confidence in the split. And honestly, I still think there's confidence they could take both these games. I mean, you look at what Florida had to do to get that win last game. I don't think those fortunes are going to happen, those bounces. I mean, Evan Bouchard seemed like he forgot to handle, skating backwards on both those entries to Marchand.
Yeah, I know.
That led to goals. So are you going to see that again? Probably not. But yeah, I still expect a high-paced pace of play tonight. I see a high event game. Like, it's still at 6.5 is the over. Whether I don't know about that, but I do like both teams coming out to a start.
Yeah, I like that. That both teams to score in the first period is a pretty good play.
I don't mind.
And then we got that with Evander Kane. The boys said they were on it. I don't think it would be up. Yeah, it'll be up by the time we start the oil stream in like 5 minutes. So keep tabs on that. All right, this was fun again, buddy. Thanks for stepping in.
Hey, anytime, Dustin.
Well, let's get some winners here today, and then we'll have Jay's play of the day that'll come up on the Reed Wilkins show today. What do you guys have anything planned for the Reed Wilkins show? You guys just 3 to 5 today.
Yeah, it's a quick show. We're just gonna hammer, and set up this game leading to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show.
Got to get Reed talking about the Elks too. I want to hear what he has to say. Yeah, I know he is.
You want to hear Reed
very passionate about the double. He's probably more than any of us.
I think you'd be surprised at how close it is, if not edge towards the double E. So tune in if you want to see Reed get a little hot under the collar.
That'll be the Reed Wilkins show from 3 until 5. Then the GCL Diesel pregame show with Tom Gazzola from Boston Pizza Westgate. That'll get rolling at 5 tonight. And then we'll have post game obviously for you to coming up after. Is Hernan wearing jeans today? Dan, so are you wearing jeans?
Yeah, why?
Real
you
Euro
look good.
vibe,
You look like a really fancy guy today.
You look like you're from
Why
Italy.
Why are you dressed so nice today?
Well, the wind is...
Is the wind bad right now?
It's
the
terrible.
wind affects your legs?
Yeah. I don't like wind. It ruins my day.
Does it?
I hate wind too.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like Saturday, I went to a birthday and it was outside. It was terrible.
Oh, you were angry at the wind the whole time.
I don't know. It's pregame. I always look like a slob, so I said, why not?
You're cleaning up today. Yeah, you look nice. Collar, shirt, and jeans.
Thank you.
Quite the show incoming there.
You mixed in a haircut too, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're looking really nice today.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, God, you look like you're interviewing for a job somewhere. You're not leaving, are you?
Yeah, where are you going?
No. What's going on?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, that's going to do it for the Lock Shop today. If you've not yet downloaded the app at Play Alberta, make sure you do that as well. I got the Oil Stream coming up with Tommy Gazzola. We're going to continue to get you ready. We're going to discuss Nuge, Nurse and Bouchard and all that fun stuff setting up the game. If you're watching on YouTube, turn on autoplay. And if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Oil Stream in less than 4 minutes, so don't go anywhere.